A very good morning to you wherever you are still here on the AM show. My name is Benedict Owusu. We'll talk some sports, and obviously we're building up to that big game involving the Black Stars and Egypt in Cairo. That's going to happen in Alexandria actually, and the Black Stars team have been preparing in Dubai for this big game. Well, it's the 2018 World Cup qualifier, and what makes it very big is that Ghana must get a win to ensure we keep up the pace to qualify for another World Cup, as well as Egypt. They want to make a first World Cup qualification since 1990. And after beating Congo 2-1 away, they see this as a perfect opportunity to extend a 5-point lead if they're able to beat Ghana. We'll definitely touch base with George Efriye. He's Vice President of the Ghana Football Association and doubles as a chairman of the Black Stars Management Committee. He's in Dubai and will join us via Skype. But before we speak to George Efriye, let's hear from former captain of the Black Stars, CK Akono, on the team's chances going into that game on Sunday.
The Egyptians also they've got a weakness, they have a weakness where after a period of time they are not able to score. They get frustrated and you see them misbehaving. It's known with the Arab teams, and so I think we need to be sound, especially defensively, not to concede a goal. And of course, when necessary, we need to attack if we have the opportunity to attack, which we will. And I think throughout the 90 minutes, we will have chances to score goals. We will have chances, and it's important that we are focused so that when these chances I'm talking about comes our way, we're able to score. And of course, once we do that, we'll be okay.
Finally, I mean, I'm going to push you a bit. You're a coach. If you were in a position of Avram Grant, what would you have done to ensure you get a win?
No, one, I'm not. If I were, I'm not in shoes. But there's so many ways we can go about this. First of all, you look at your team, the players that you have on board, who are able to defend, and of course discipline. We need to be disciplined at the back, and Egypt will always look for Salah, no doubt about it. How they look for him is a matter of balls behind the strikers because he's fast and he goes. And of course, Avram is experienced. Konedu is also there. They know all these things, and of course they will find a strategy to stop them. And of course, when we have the chance to attack, we attack.
So that was former Black Stars captain CK Akono, and he believes that Ghana can get a good result in Egypt. Well, we'll go all the way to Dubai to speak to Ghana Football Association Vice President George Efriye, who doubles as a chairman of the Black Stars Management Committee. Dubai is where the team have been preparing going into that game on Sunday. Chairman, thanks so much for joining us. How are things in Dubai?
Well, Benedict, thank you. Everything is fine here. I mean, players, somebody has much. Excellent. Everything is okay. They are in high spirit. Hope that translates that.
But how important was it, camping in Dubai? Obviously, initially what we heard was that the team was going to be based in Turkey before moving to Alexandria for the game. But what necessitated the change, and how important has it been camping in Dubai?
Well, Benedict, I'm sure you know that most of these players are based in Europe. And so initially we thought that flying an hour or two to Istanbul was an ideal situation. But we also have to factor in the weather at the time. And so when we did a tour of Istanbul and then that of Alexandria, we realized that it was better to come to Dubai and then instead of going to Turkey. And I think that, yes, the decision to pitch camp here was the right decision because similar weather conditions in Alexandria, and then also the training facility, the serene atmosphere. These are the things you need. In games like this, you need concentration. You need to make sure that the players are focused. And so this is what we want to get. And I think that everything is fine now.
In terms of what the team have been doing in Dubai, remember very well going into the Africa Cup of Nations, we employed the likes of Jimmy Lawrence, fitness coach, and also Gerald News, who is a video analyst. This time we've seen Jimmy Lawrence there. Why Jimmy Lawrence coming back to the team, and what necessitated that decision?
Physical coach or physical trainer is part of any modern football setup. Unfortunately, we don't have a physical trainer. Now, you realize that some of our players are not starting their team. And so always there must be a physical trainer to measure their level of fitness. And their level of fitness can be measured in their club level depending on how they regularly use the players. And so once you have a physical trainer attached to the team, once the player arrives, you'll be able to assess the player to know whether, yes, even though he's not getting playing time in his club level, he's training and he's making the mark in order to stay in shape with all the players who are also playing regularly. So the physical trainer is not just to start lifting metals and no. It's also to make sure that the players are in the same form, they are in the same shape, they are also in the same physical condition as those who are playing even regularly. And so it's very important that we bring him once a while, because we don't have the money to keep him throughout the year. We think that in such important games we can bring him out.
Is Gerald News there as well?
No, it's
Gerald
only
News is not there. Okay, obviously, I mean, this game is huge for us. We don't need to be told, I mean, what's at stake going into the game, especially when we drew our first game here and Egypt won their first game away to Congo. For you and the team, what's the strategy going into that game on Sunday?
Well, I'm sure that you are not asking me to discuss our strategies on air for even the Egyptians to pick what we are trying to do. So, because
but in terms of arrangements, what's been done going into Egypt?
Even arrangement, I don't think it's advisable to even do that, because for the past few days, I've been bombarded with questions from the Egyptian media. When are you arriving? Which city are you? How are you coming? Are you coming to Cairo? I mean, these are things I don't think that it's necessary for. The most important thing is that the Egyptian team must expect us to arrive in Alexandria or in Cairo or in whichever city. But on the day of our official training, which is Saturday, 6 o'clock tomorrow, we must be on the field to train. That is the most important thing. As to how we arrive in, whether we are going by boat or we are going by road, or we will definitely be in Alexandria.
Of course, definitely. We'll be there for the game on Sunday. But what word of assurance would you give Ghanaians? Because most people think after that draw against Uganda and how Egypt played very well in their last game, it would be very, very difficult for us to get a good result in Alexandria.
Well, I don't know, Benedict, you have followed football for some time now, and I'm sure you've followed the Black Stars for some time now. You see, we are dealing with players who want to rise up to the challenge. And for the few years I have been associated with the Black Stars, I know that it's when people have doubt that, yes, this team is capable of doing it. It's when they prove everybody wrong. For me, what I've witnessed here, their movement, their high spirit, and the way they are gelling in training and all that, I have no doubt that it's a do or die affair. I mean, it's a make or break match. And so we understand that. We are going to approach it as such. And I can assure you that definitely we don't want to come home empty-handed. We want to come home smile.
In terms of security, I mean, what's the arrangement, especially for Avram Grant? You already know the situation between the Israelites and the Egyptians. And Avram Grant, obviously, as an Israelite going into Egypt, there will be some issues. Well, in terms of security, what's been done?
Well, we heard of the threats. I mean, they keep coming day by day. But the most important thing is that we have to report to the appropriate authorities. And this competition is organized by FIFA, so definitely we have to report to FIFA. FIFA has assured us they have sent a FIFA security expert who reported to the Egyptian Federation, reported to the Israeli embassy in Egypt. And so we think that in terms of what we have to do, we've done it. The rest is that we believe this is a football game and that we are not politicians. We are not into politics. We are into sports. And so I don't see why Coach Avram Grant cannot make it to Egypt. The truth is that remember that Egypt and Israel have a very good relationship going now, because as we speak, I know that there is an Israeli embassy in Cairo.
Yeah.
And so, and I believe, and those who work in the embassy are Israelis, and they live in Cairo. And so I wonder why a sporting personality will walk into their country and that will be a problem. There are other people who are living there and who are working there, who are Israelis every day. And so I don't see why a sporting personality harmless person like Abraham Grant to work to Egypt and be an issue. I don't think that should be an issue at all. We've taken the precautions, taking all the necessary security measures that we have done, and I don't think that there should be any problem.
Uncle, thanks so much for speaking to us all the way from Dubai. We wish you all the best, and we'll definitely see you in Alexandria on Sunday for the game. So that was George Efiye. He's Vice President of the Ghana Football Association and Chairman of the Black Stars Management Committee, speaking to us from the team's base in Dubai. Well, he just mentioned that the team will definitely arrive in Alexandria for the game on Sunday, but wouldn't tell us when exactly they are touching down in Egypt. Well, we still stay with the Black Stars, and standing captain Andrew Ayew has also been speaking about the game, and for him, they have to give their all to ensure victory over the Egyptians on Sunday.
No, we are going to give our 100%. We are going to give our best. We don't know what is going to happen. Football is whether you lose, draw, or win, but what is for sure is that we are going to give everything that we have to make sure that we will come back with something, and that whatever happens, whether we win, we draw, we lose, there are again 4 games to go. So we shouldn't get swollen-headed in anything that happened in this game, but we should continue working hard. But this is the last game before the Nations Cup, so we need their support so that we can end this year in a good way.
Well, from one national team, we move to the other, and this time we are talking about the Black Princesses, the female under-20 team. And after a week in Australia, they've arrived in Papua New Guinea for this year's FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup. Now, Coach Masudi Dramani and his girls will be hoping to do well at this year's competition. For more on how preparations went for the team in Australia and what they are going to do going into the tournament proper, we'll go live to Papua New Guinea and speak to Evelyn Insia Asari. She is a media officer of the team, and she's joining me via Skype. Evelyn, thanks so much for joining me. I'm sure it's evening in Papua New Guinea, worlds apart, but I mean, you found time to speak to us. First of all, I mean, how was training in Australia for the team? We'll go back and speak to Evelyn Insia Asari, who is a media officer for the team. Evelyn, good morning to you.
Good morning, Benedict. Over here it's almost 5 o'clock p.m.
5 o'clock in the evening, so worlds apart. Okay,
yes,
thanks so much for speaking to us. You know, you were in Australia with the team for the training tour. How did it go?
Yeah, it went on well. What we couldn't do in Ghana was what we sought to do in Australia. In Ghana here, we planned playing 2 matches with Nigeria. That didn't come on. So in Australia, we were trying to correct the mistakes that we would have corrected them in Ghana. The coach played 2 matches with the premier side, which they were women, but 2 matches we scored more goals. So Didi said, no, even if they are doing well, at least I have to get a very tough opposition to check whether I have a formidable team. And we did that. Our last game with the guys, it wasn't easy. First half, before we realized, Benedict, we were down 4 goals. But in the second half, we did correct all the mistakes, and then we also scored 1 goal.
Looking at the matches you played in Australia, lots of goals were scored. It was only your last trial match which you lost by 4 goals to 1. Does that say anything about the team's preparations going into the tournament?
Of course, sir. We are really prepared because we didn't play any competitive matches in Ghana. We were using that matches to correct the mistakes, and we have done everything. Looking at the players, they are all in good shape. After playing the men's team, they were satisfied that even though they were men, we were beaten 4-1. We were okay with the scoreline. So I can say now that all the corrections have been corrected, and everything that needs to be done, we have done everything. And then coach said this afternoon, after we met the FIFA people, he said we're open to media to tell them where we have got into. So at least we are there.
So what are some of the changes going into the tournament? Because I understand that FIFA says going into the knockout phases, you will be able to make 4 changes.
Of course, yes. We did that just this afternoon. FIFA said because things are changing now, the world is dynamic, so as football. So they sat down to realize that 3 players are not enough to change within 1 game. So from quarterfinals onwards, we need to change 4 players. And over here, The weather is more hotter than that of Ghana, I tell you. It's not easy. So they'll also be going for water break and other stuff like that.
And that obviously will not affect the girls because of the kind of weather we are exposed to here in Ghana. But finally, before
this weather is so much. This weather is so much. When they train, every 10-15 minutes, they have to come to the touch line for water. Benedict, it's so strange. The weather here is very hot.
But finally, before I take leave of you, our first game is against New Zealand on Monday. Looking at training, what you saw in Australia, are you confident that we'll be able to start on a good note?
We are very confident. You see, this is the 4th time that we are taking part in this tournament. Our first 3 tournaments, we exit before the quarterfinals. And last 2 years, it was so painful. We had 6 points, but we have to exit the tournament. So this time, the girls said, no, we have to go because they all want a contract. They all want to play outside. And if you don't get to the quarterfinals, through to the semifinals, nobody will see you. So the players said they are prepared. And judging to the fact that back home in Ghana, so many things were said, no money, nothing. They said we want to go far. So after seeing them this morning we had one training session because we were to meet the FIFA coordinator for instructions and other laws of the games that has been changed. So we did only one session. But after going through the session, I realized that my players, the Ghanaian team is ever ready for New Zealand. Even though New Zealand were scoring 8 goals, 10 goals, they even scored Papua New Guinea, I think 10 or 8 goals.
Okay.
So they think because they have scored more goals, they have edge than us. They are taller than us. So what I would advise is that our players should put the ball on the turf.
Absolutely.
If we are able to put the ball on the turf, we are going to beat them.
Okay, thank you so much, Evelyn Insia Asari. Evelyn Insia Asari is the media officer for the Black Princesses team, and they are in Papua New Guinea for this year's FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup. That's how we end sports here on the AM show. My name is Benedict. So make your way to the Manja Online Sports page and read more sports stories for us. So and keep following us on our various social media platforms. On Twitter is at Joy Sports, and on Joy Sports GH, and on Facebook is at Joy Sports. Have a great day and enjoy the rest of the program.